I was the one that messed that one up.
No.
I was the one that messed that one up. Okay, so we're distributing with the radicals, right? 5-2, day 2 on our notes. Woo. And I will find, I know I recorded fifth period yesterday, so I will get that posted. I will try to fix that while you guys are working.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to distribute the square root of 6.
Yes.
So I have 5 square root of 6.
You said
Yes.
How about 6? Yes. What? You were supposed to be doing that already.
But I forgot.
Oh.
We were talking.
Okay, minus.
Square root of 18.
And I'm not going to even multiply out that.
Why?
Because I have to reduce it, yes?
Yes.
And why make a number bigger if I have to make it smaller?
You don't.
Now, if they don't have any common terms, I'm obviously going to have to multiply it, but 3 and 6 have common terms, yes?
Yes.
3. So I have 3, 2, 3. So I can bring out a 3.
3.
So I have 5 square root of 6 minus 3 square root of 2. Can I combine those two?
Yes.
No.
No. They both have the same root, so I got that, but they are not the same radicand, are they? So you can't combine them. It's like having x and x squared. They both have the same base, but they don't have the same exponent, do they?
Yes.
Actually, this would be the same exponent. So they both have squared, and one's an x and one's a y. How about that? Okay, what do you do to stop the next one?
It's
It's
a
difference
plus
of
minus.
squares.
Difference of squares.
No.
And the big person name of it is?
Conjugate.
Conjugate. Kale gets a sucker.
Oh, I couldn't think of the name.
Okay, a sucker to the person who can tell me what happens and what the hand raised, not yelling. What happens when you multiply conjugates and what's special about them? Natalie?
Do the middle terms cancel out?
The middle term reduce out.
I think she
said
should
Okay.
cancel.
She said cancel.
Yeah, she did say cancel, so I think maybe you owe me a piece of candy. They reduce out, yes?
So close.
What else? Are you going to share some more information with us about conjugates?
Just from you, Candy, my bag.
The ending is the square, what? The negative two numbers
Mm-hmm.
multiplied.
Yes?
He's candy.
Nope. That wasn't good enough.
Have you done
Does anybody have a guess maybe what's going to happen with these specific conjugates? How is it going to make my life easier?
Square root.
Square roots cancel out, reduce out.
The square roots will reduce out, and I will be able to combine what I get, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
I was gonna say that, but you didn't call on me.
oh, okay. Do you feel bad?
Well, my name's Austin.
That's so dumb.
No, that's hers. Your hand wasn't up.
That's
Okay,
why I grabbed it.
thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we need to multiply it out, yes?
Yeah.
So I'm going to get x squared minus x square root of 10 plus x square root of 10 minus 10. I did it kind of fast. From now on, when I see conjugates, I will never do the middle. Should you be doing the middle when there's conjugates there?
Yes.
No, when they're conjugates, they're difference of squares, you should know better and not waste your time. So now I have x squared minus 10. And when I have a radical in the denominator, which I'm not allowed to have, I'm going to have to use my conjugates to get rid of it, aren't I? Because yesterday I told you, no fractional exponents when you're done, right? No negative exponents, and no radicals in the denominator. So we're going to have quantities in the denominator that we have to take care of. We have to rationalize by multiplying by conjugates, not just multiplying by the square root.
I think there was one in the homework that was like that.
Yeah, we just hadn't got there yet. I figured there would be one. Okay, so both of these problems, I have a binomial in the denominator, don't they? Yes.
Would you take the denominator and the numerator by its conjugate?
Yes.
By the denominator's conjugate?
Yes, by the denominators, and that's specific, and it needs to be the denominator's conjugate. Do I care if there is a square root in the numerator? No. And I have to multiply the numerator and denominator by the same thing, don't I?
Yes.
Because if, oops, I was not going to put the conjugate. What was I going to put?
The same thing.
I was going to put the same thing.
Oh.
I was going to put plus. Okay, so remember the conjugate is 2 minus the square root of 5, correct? The second term changes sign, not the first. That's a 5. So, the bottom is going to multiply out first term, last term, because the two middle terms are going to zero out. And we don't need to spend our time with that. As long as you write the correct conjugate, it's gonna happen. Yes?
If it was positive, why did you write it as a negative? Like,
Because that's what the conjugate is, plus minus.
okay.
The second term has to change signs. Okay, so here I'm gonna have 4 minus 5.
Yeah.
Everyone agree?
Yep.
And then what do I do with this 1?
Distribute it.
Distribute it, and I'm gonna get 2 minus the square root of 5. And this equals
-1.
-1. So, you may not, this is a no, you will get a sad face no on your paper if you write your answer like that. That is silly.
Oh.
I might be getting sad face.
That is
I'm
silly.
getting a sad face.
Okay, so there's 2 ways you can write this. You could write it as negative the quantity of 2 minus the square root of 5. Or you could write it square root of 5 minus 2. Or you could put -2 plus the square root of 5.
Wouldn't it be negative square root of 5?
Nope, what did I do? How did I go from this one?
Oh, yeah.
I distributed my negative. I don't like a negative in the front. Could I write it -2 plus the square root of 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the same thing. They all equal each other. This is just not a very, that's not a cool way to write it. If I wrote a problem on a paper like that on a test and said do this problem, you'd be like, I don't even know what to do, right?
You wrote that.
You don't leave stuff over 1 anyway, do you?
No.
No. So, you can write it any of these ways. I would probably choose this if it was me specifically, but I don't care. This seems kind of weird to me. I just divide both of them by a negative. I could do that, right? Distribute a -1. Any way you think of it, it gets the same answer. Okay. So, I'm going to multiply by the
You said the
Of the denominator.
conjugate. Evan, if you can tell me the conjugate, you get a sucker.
I don't want it.
You don't want a sucker?
I tell you to multiply.
Y'all give you a
the
sucker to give to someone else then.
No.
Me.
Do you not want to go for the, do you know the conjugate?
Yes.
Well then tell me, and I won't give you a sucker, I'll eat it.
That matter.
Okay, what's the conjugate, Evan?
Here's my name.
Okay, I have to tell you the conjugate of denominator.
You said you knew it.
Bullshit. I don't want to.
I don't want to, you are acting like a 2-year-old right now. Garrett?
Would it be 1 plus the square root of x?
Yes, it would be 1 plus the square root of x, and I would advise putting parentheses around your other denominators.
I just would have said it wrong.
This is unfair treatment right here.
Garrett?
Oh. I tell you conjugate.
He was the first one to say conjugate.
Evan knew it, he was just scared he was gonna say it wrong.
Well, I will tell you that
Because I said it wrong the entire time yesterday.
everyone last hour said it wrong, and the first person who said it was arguing with me. I said it right. I'm like, no, you did not. He said -1 plus x squared.
Smart man.
Okay, first of all, it's not -1, is it?
No.
No. And it is not x squared, is it? No, it is the square root of x. So we need to work on saying what we're supposed to be saying. So you can do it. The next one. You got the next one.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so when I multiply the denominator out, I'm going to get what?
1 minus x.
1 minus x. And I'm still multiplying the whole thing out the right way, but those 2 middle terms are zeroing out, correct? I had people on the last test multiplying things like that when they weren't supposed to be. And whoever you are, and it was more than one person, you need to stop. When you have a quantity times a quantity, you are to FOIL that, yes? First term goes to the other 2 terms, the second term goes to the other 2 terms. I had several people only multiplying the outside 2 terms. And that's not cool. You will never get the right answer, and you will get always a -2. Every problem, no matter what the concept is, because you gotta got that. Gotta get that.
I got that.
Yep.
I know what the numerator is.
So now, what is the numerator?
It's -4x plus
Minus
the square root
4x.
of -4x squared.
We don't say plus minus, but yes. And not squared. Square root.
Square. I said square.
Come on,
You
Isaiah.
sound like you said squared.
You said square.
You said squared.
16 square root.
Don't argue.
You didn't.
I said
I
the
can back up the
square root.
video.
No, I said,
Do it.
I said the square root of negative 4x squared.
Yeah.
Yeah, square.
Yeah,
You said, you
square.
just said again, square.
He just said
It's a square root.
For the last one. At first I said square root, and then I said, what was that?
So it's, no, it's wrong.
Okay, what you said was this. The words that came out of your mouth were this. Those are the words you said.
Don't be like the last person in the last class.
I swear.
Okay, can I
You swore wrong.
combine any of those things in the numerator?
No.
No,
No.
I can't. Because if I could have combined them, I would have done it before I multiplied, right? And I have x's in both, but I don't have a square root of x, do I? It looks really funny, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. It just looks fun. We all look funny. We look in the mirror every day and move on with our life. So numbers can look funny too.
So just don't look in the mirror then.
You just cover it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So Evan, are you gonna try it for us?
Nope.
Kendra, do you want to try it?
Sure.
Okay.
It's 2 plus the square root of 3.
2 plus the square root of 3. And can anybody tell me mathematically why we have to multiply the numerator by that as well?
It's just not
Everyone,
Because you can't just.
Ethan.
Because if you just multiply the denominator by it, then the numerator is the same, it won't work.
It won't work. Because if I multiply just the denominator, I'm actually changing the problem, correct?
Yeah.
And right now, when I multiply by 1 plus the square root of 3 over 1 plus the square root of 3, I'm really only multiplying by 1. So if I'm only multiplying by 1, that's an identity and it doesn't change anything, does it?
No.
Okay, so that numerator I need to FOIL out. So FOIL it out. And do it right.
Wait.
I said do it right. That's all I said.
I know.
Did you do your homework last night?
Not yet, no.
What did you do in IEP yesterday?
I helped you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You tore a paper.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really funny looking, isn't it? Anybody bothered by what you did?
I am deeply disturbed.
Well, not by this though, I'm sure.
Square root.
Yeah, I got the bottom right.
I definitely was gonna say I got the bottom.
I'm pretty sure I got the top right.
That's far higher.
That's what I got.
Okay, can I bring any of that stuff? Can I combine any of that stuff?
No, you can
No.
subtract 3 from 4
No.
on the bottom.
Well, yeah, on the bottom, and I have 1.
So
So,
we were one, so it's
this is
that.
just this.
Yay.
But I have square roots, right? Like I have 3 x's there, but one's x to the first, one's x to the second, one's x cubed, so I can't combine them, can I?
No man.
It looks funny, doesn't it? If those were x's, you'd be like, oh, okay, it's all good. But they're square roots. Just because it looks funny, guys, does not change the math we actually get to do.
What did you like scribble out? I didn't see it.
Oh, it was 4 minus 3, so it's just 1. Because down here, Callie, the 2 times 2 is 4, and then the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. I'm sorry. And so just because it looks funny does not mean it's wrong. Move on. Like I said, we all have to look in the mirror once a day at least. Right? Questions, guys? What's the word of the day?
Conjugate.
Conjugate.
I should get a sucker for that.
Okay, so everyone needs to get to work. I will work on getting the videos. Yes, you may.
Values, retro math,